Apple just started a change, and it is a major change. Intel processors have an expiration date, and the Apple M series processors they will reach all Mac models. Apple's first processor for its computers is the M1, which is already available in 3 models: MacBook Air, MacBook Pro and Mac Mini. These processors have many advantages. Apple has made this leap with a lot of knowledge, but there are also some disadvantages. Practically all due to the beginning of this transition, that is to say, with the passage of time they will tend to disappear. Advantages offered by the M1 processor. The M1 processor is of a different architecture than Intel, ARM versus x86, and that gives it many advantages in terms of performance and efficiency. It is a 5nm processor and it is equipped with a staggering 16 billion transistors. First, a much more powerful processor. Apple is pretty clear on the power. The M1 chip offers up to 3.5 times faster CPU performance, GPU performance up to 6 times faster, and machine learning up to 15 times faster. We understand that this data is compared to the equivalent version from Intel. Second, world's best integrated graphics. The SoC M1 includes integrated graphics, an 8-core GPU that Apple has claimed is the best on the market. These 8 powerful cores are capable of running almost 25,000 threads simultaneously, from smooth playback of multiple 4K video streams to rendering complex 3D scenes. With 2.6 teraflops of performance, the M1 processor has the world's fastest integrated graphics in a personal computer. Third, double battery life. World's best CPU performance per watt. The M1 processor features an 8-core CPU consisting of 4 high-performance cores and 4 high-efficiency cores, and according to Apple, these high-efficiency cores deliver outstanding performance while consuming 1/10 the power. High-efficiency cores offer performance similar to that of the i3 processor in MacBook Airs. And all this allows a battery life of up to double the duration. The MacBook Air has a battery life of 6 more hours and MacBook Pro of up to 10 more hours. Fourth, immediate start. The M1 processor derives from the one we have in the iPhone or iPad, and that allows us to have an immediate start from rest, in the same way as it happens on iOS devices. In addition, the consumption at rest will be much lower thanks to this new processor. Fifth, compatible with iPad and iPhone apps and games. Being a processor based on the iPhone and iPad, but much more powerful, it is able to use the applications that we have on these devices natively. That is, the vast majority of apps in the App Store can be used without problems on Macs with an M1 processor. Disadvantages offered by the M1 processor. But not everything can be good. The M1 processor represents a change in architecture, and this forces a transition that includes some downsides. First, adaptation process. It is something necessary that will last several months. Developers must adapt your applications to Apple's new M1 processor architecture. Apple's apps are already adapted and many others will do so over the next few months. For example, Photoshop will arrive in early 2021. This process will not affect ordinary users, but it could affect professionals more. Apple has created the Rosetta 2 software that will take care of translating unsupported apps, and it promises that they will perform at great performance, but it is something you will have to try. Second, no bootcamp. Until now on a Mac we could install Windows without problems on a disk partition thanks to bootcamp. A very interesting option for all those users who needed both systems, and this is something that today is impossible on M1 processors. The problem is that Microsoft does not sell a version of Windows for ARM processors. As soon as you do, this could be achieved. In the meantime, we must rely on the virtualization of apps like Parallels that are working to achieve this. Third, 16 GB RAM maximum. At the moment, the Mac with processor M1 have a maximum limitation of 16 GB of RAM. We do not know if it is something forced or a momentary decision by Apple that could change in the future. Of course, in these first 3 computers intended for a general public, 16 GB of RAM is more than enough for the tasks to be performed. Fourth, not compatible with external GPU. This is not something that will affect the vast majority of users who are going to buy these first Macs with an M1 processor, but it is a disadvantage. The M1 processor does not support external GPU, so you will not be able to improve graphics performance in this way on these Macs. The decision that Apple has taken is firm, and as the months go by, the advantages will be much greater than the disadvantages. We have a more powerful processor, which consumes less and that Apple itself has designed for its devices. A new step for the Mac, probably the most important in its history. So that's it. End, share, like, subscribe for more video like this.